Welcome to the Abiding CEO, the podcast for Christian business owners who want to grow spiritually and in business. I'm your host, Dr. Betsy Mejias, therapist, speaker, and fellow business owner. I know what it's like to feel stressed, burnt out, and overwhelmed, which is why I created this audio oasis for us, a space for healthy attachments, kingdom identity, and business growth that flows from peace and not pressure. Here, theology, psychology, and business intersect to bring practical tools and spirit-led insight. I'm here to pass the heart of entrepreneurs who want to stop striving and start abiding. So take a deep breath, let it go, and get ready to grow. There's something I see again and again among us Christian entrepreneurs. Most of us think that hustle is about ambition, but more often than that, it's about security. We don't overwork because we love working. We overwork because something underneath us doesn't feel settled. And the lie is subtle. It sounds responsible, even spiritual. And I want to call out 3 lies that Christian entrepreneurs that we believe, and then the one truth that brings clarity and balance. Okay, so here's some of the lies. If I just keep going a little longer, if I just stay available, if I just push through this season, then things will finally calm down. But I want to suggest to you today is hustle isn't a work ethic. It's often an attachment byproduct. What do I mean? The same patterns that we keep talking about, our relationship patterns, our way of seeing the world and people, it affects this hustle mentality. So let's address the first lie. I have to do this on my own. Again, common among the avoidant pattern. Some entrepreneurs learn and lean towards total independence because sometimes inside we feel capable, we feel competent, and those things are true. And we don't want to slow down. But underneath that is often this: if I rely on others, it's going to cost me money. It's going to cost me disappointment. I'll do it myself because I can do it faster and I can make sure it's done right. So you do it yourself. You carry it all in internally. You keep working because delegating feels so risky. This isn't pride, it's protection. We want to protect ourselves from the letdown, from being overlooked, from frustration down the road. So we take it out now, even when we don't have the capacity. I am notorious for this. And recently had to just share with my team, you know what? I've been doing this and I need you guys to do it because ultimately it is your responsibility. But part of the reason I was doing it was because I knew I would do it right. And that's the truth. I trust me. But in order to live secure, calm lives, we need to know who we can trust, who we can't trust, and depend on others and open up. So over time, doing everything alone will create more problems and it's going to drain your energy. It narrows your perspective and it's going to leave you exhausted and still unsure. So self-reliance might seem like a good strategy, but it is quietly stealing your joy and clarity. Here's another lie. Now, this lie is more common among the anxious attachment style, right? The I need everyone's input in order to make a decision. And this comes from not trusting yourself and trusting other people's opinions more than you trust you. And that can hurt. But the first step to healing is acknowledging the lies that we've been believing. Okay. So when it comes to this style, you care deeply about doing things the right way. You might even obsess and be perfectionistic. And you just keep going and connecting with others, seeking what you think is wise counsel. Sometimes wise counsel, you only need 2 or 3 people. You don't need 20 people's opinion to take action because that's going to slow you down and make you indecisive. So you keep asking, and you ask again, and you hesitate. You can miss a deadline with all this asking and preparing until you finally feel secure, but then the security never comes. Because the truth is, the more people you ask, the more confusion you're going to create. So let's step away from the lie of if I get enough approval, then I'm going to be okay. You don't need everyone's input in order to make the right decision because you don't want to end up in a situation of analysis paralysis. You did all this effort, you did all this talking, you consulted a million people and you didn't execute. So let's try not leaning so much on other people's opinions and doing what we know is the right thing to do. Here's the third lie. This this is a little harder. So if you identify with this, there's grace, there's help, and be gentle with yourself, please. If I just push through the season, it will all make sense. And there are seasons where everything just feels conflicting, right? You're passionate one week, you might be exhausted the next. You're motivated, but then you turn around and shut down. These inconsistencies are self-sabotaging. You push harder than you need to. And maybe in those moments where you're inspired, you hit the road, you do a million things, but then you crash when the inspiration fades. And sometimes success and security is just about consistency, right? Doing what you know you need to do, regardless of how you feel. So sometimes when there's this attachment lens of disorganized, you feel like you're in survival mode. And the intensity is going to lead to further burnout, which benefits no one, creates confusion about your calling and what you're supposed to be doing. And your passion can also affect your relationship with God. Because then when you're feeling good, you might feel more comfortable praying, talking to Him. But when you're not feeling so good, you might withdraw and hide. Think of these patterns as on a continuum, right? From both extremes. Okay, so all that to say, all those three lies are a byproduct of the insecure attachment patterns. But what is a byproduct of the secure, right? The one truth that if we can all embrace and take away is secure leadership knows when to seek support and when you already have what you need. Because the answer is not the same all the time. You want to show up with what the situation requires. Secure leadership isn't about doing everything alone, and it's not about outsourcing every decision. It's about discernment. Sometimes you need other people. Sometimes you already have the wisdom and skills you need. And we want to acknowledge when each reaction is appropriate. Security allows you to just pause without panicking, ask for input without handling every little problem, because sometimes the right thing to do is to delegate. Move forward without urgency. Don't let somebody else's calendar put pressure on you. And if they continue to put pressure on you, this is for somebody listening, then they're disrespecting your boundary. And it might be time to cut off that leaf. Okay. And this is where faith really comes in. Trusting God does not remove your responsibility in the equation, but it restores the clarity to make the right decisions and to know what processes to take, what systems to implement, what needs to be changed, what needs to be kept, and what needs to be added. Knowing with the season. So I want to leave you guys with this. I'm always asking you these questions. Just try to increase your level of insight because the better you know yourself, the better you know God, the better you can relate to others and experience peace on this entrepreneurship journey. Okay, here's the food for thought. Which of these lies feels most familiar right now? Where might hustle be trying to create security for you? There's no judgment. These are just patterns, and I'm bringing it to your awareness. Security can be what you're missing. So Hustle doesn't bring the clarity you need. Being secure in Christ and steady in business is the key. God bless you guys. Thanks for tuning in to The Abiding CEO. I hope today's conversation helped you find the clarity and peace you need to make money God's way. If this episode spoke to you, share it with another Christian business owner who's ready to trust God and release the hustle. Until next time, remember, stay secure in Christ and steady in business.